Despite a loss inside Ford Field Sunday, head coach Dan Campbell says his team still improved. We're breaking all of that growth down and so much more right here on Inside the Pride.
Let's go. Yeah. I can't quit.
Welcome to Inside the Pride, presented by Whisker, maker of the litter robot. I'm Dannie Rogers. A late fourth quarter surge by the Detroit Lions came up short Sunday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Before we turn the page to Arizona, let's relive the best highlights from Week 2.
Ford Field in downtown Detroit, Week 2 in the National Football League, and the Lions are set to face the Buccaneers. Now they've got their sights set on Tampa Bay. Much like we said about the Rams, this is a good team with Super Bowl dreams of their own, and they're coming back in here thinking a little bit about revenge for last year. Jake Bates set to kick it off for the Lions, and we are ready to go. Mayfield takes the snap, back, looking left, pumps once, ball's out on the ground. Recovered by the Buccaneers about at the 12-yard line, but a big-time play by that Lions defense. 30-yard field goal attempt, hash mark right side, up and good, but that's a win for that Lions defense. Jared takes the snap, back and looking, throwing. It is intercepted, picked off by Zion McCollum. As J-Mo went into his cut, Isium kind of belted him across the chest, and it's just an easy interception for the Bucs. There's the snap, blitz comes, Mayfield backing up, gonna get hit, gonna go down, sack back at the 44-yard line. Aiden Hutchinson got in there and nailed him. There's the snap, spot, kick away. It is up, and it is good. They fake the give to Montgomery. Goff back with time, sets up, wants to throw deep. Got J-Mo out there, makes the catch inside the 25-yard line and taken down from behind by Jamel Dean at the 20. Jake Bates from 22. Snap, spot, kick away. It is up and it is good. There's the snap, Mayfield back, blitz comes, Mayfield gonna get hit, gonna go down, sacked again. Aiden Hutchinson, number 3. He is smoking out of the gate in this game. So it's going to be a 35-yard field goal attempt. Hash mark right side for Jake Bates, trying to tie this game up. There's the snap, spot, kick away. It is up, and it is good. We got a 6-6 game. Mayfield takes the snap, looks. Now he throws deep left side. Got a man wide open, and he'll walk in. That's Godwin. The Bucs are back on top. Mayfield now empty out of the gun. Back, looking. Pressure comes as he throws it over the middle, intercepted by the Lions. Brian Branch up to make the grab, and the Lions have got the football back. That's going to end the half because that's going to be a penalty for too many men on the field against the Lions. 13-6, Tampa Bay on top. I think they got to find some way to get the offense going here. Here come the Lions on first down. Goff to throw. Looks, now throws. It is complete. Amon-Ra, 45-yard line, cuts it up to the 50 and runs out of bounds at midfield. There's the snap, spot, kick away. It is up, and it is good. Goff turns, gives to Demo. Over the right side, did he get in? Yes, sir! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! David Montgomery takes it home, and Detroit's on top for the first time today. The Lions lead it by 3 now. There's the snap. Mayfield's got a quarterback draw to the 10, to the 5, to the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay on top, 34 seconds to go here, third quarter. Takes the snap back to pass. Mayfield looking, stepping up. Mayfield gonna get hit, gonna go down. Sack back at the 23-yard line. Aiden Hutchinson got him again. That's 5 on the day for Aiden Hutchinson. It's Goff out of the gun. There's the snap, Jared back. Jared looks, Jared throws, deep middle, intercepted by the Bucs. And that's gonna do it.
Start here, I would tell Coach Bowles over there, it's a good job, man. Those guys, they go all out over there. And once again, just give you everything they got. It's an unbelievable competition. And so, congratulations to those guys, the way they played. But we talk about it as a team, and we know we're going to get everybody's best. And we'll clean ourselves off and move forward.
After a rare Week 1 with just 13 receiving yards, Amon-Ra St. made his presence known in Week 2 when he picked up 113 yards in the second half alone. St. Brown stops by the show next.
Inside the Pride is presented by Whisker and brought to you by the Ford Motor Company, Henry Ford Health, and by Meyer.
Welcome back to Inside the Pride. This week, I'm joined by wide receiver Amon-Ra St. who has spoiled us over the last few seasons. Last year, 19 games, only 3 times did you record under 70 receiving yards. So after week 1 versus LA, 13 receiving yards, what mindset did you attack week 2 with against the Bucs?
I think I had the same mindset every week. Obviously, when you only have 13 yards in a game, for me, it's like, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? But there were so many things that happened that game for us as an offense. First game, there's always so many things that you can get better as an offense. I mean, like I said, I try to look at myself and see what I do wrong. It was only week 1, I can always get better. But going into week 2, same preparation for me that I do every week and trying to make the plays that come to me, that's the biggest thing. Not trying to force anything, and when the ball is near, I got to make the play.
Why are you so hard on yourself?
I think I've always been that way since I was a kid. Just growing up like that, I'm kind of like a perfectionist. I want to be perfect at everything that I do. I want to be the best, but to be the best takes a lot of work, and I think that work is something that I really enjoy doing. Not every day, I would say, but some days I don't want to go do it, but I know I have to. And I think that's just really what keeps me going is the work and understanding how hard it is to be great at something.
You mentioned multiple factors played a role in week 1. What was the number one thing this offense might have fixed that did help your production skyrocket to 119 receiving yards in week 2?
When you throw the ball 55 times and you get 19 targets, it's not that difficult to get 100 yards. We threw the ball quite a bit, but that was the game plan going into that week. We got to the red zone so many times, just couldn't finish it. I think that was the biggest point of emphasis for us.
You talk about the red zone inefficiencies. Coach Dan Campbell said this week, between the 20s, efficiency was pretty good. So what is the major detail that needs to be cleaned up within the red zone going forward?
The past 2 years, we were top 5 in red zone offense. And I think part of the reason why we were so good is we were able to run the ball in the red zone. I think just going back to that is going to be big for us, is leaning on our run game heavily inside the red zone. Obviously, if they're going to stack the box, we can take advantage of favorable matchups on the outside. But if the run is there, even if it's not there, try to run it because we got a great O-line and we got backs that can make guys miss and take on extra guys. So as a whole, as an offense, we can all be better in the red zone. Whether it's receivers getting to the right spots, protection at the O-line, quarterback making the right reads, us catching the ball, so many things that we can do as an offense. But it's only week 2. I think you'd rather have the struggles now than in week 12.
Someone who looked like they were having fun last season was you, Amon-Ra. Over 1,500 receiving yards, double digits in TDs, which is a very elite number. How do you possibly surpass those numbers in 2024?
I think I got to keep doing what I've been doing. Obviously, it's not going to get any easier. It's only going to get tougher. So just being consistent, being available, I think is very important, being on that field, because if I'm not on the field, I obviously can't help my team in any way. So each game is different. You might be down, you might be up, we might run the ball more in the second half. So just being able to adjust for me, but whatever I gotta do to help the team win is the most important thing. And I think, with winning teams, stats come with all those winning teams. So if we keep winning, I think we'll be fine.
Week 3, big road test, going to Arizona. Out west, it's a long flight. What is the number one thing this team is honing in on to walk away with a W in week 3?
Yeah, I watched some of that Arizona game after our game. Young team, hungry team. They're gonna bring the energy. It's gonna be hot out there, so we gotta be hydrated, obviously. But they played the Rams, you could say, much better than we did. Was kind of a blowout game from the start to finish. But I think each team is different. Each matchup is different. So it's gonna be a whole new, game for us and them. But they're young, they're hungry. Kyler's back. He looked great last game. They got some receivers that can make plays. Defensively, they got young guys. You might not know their names, but they're gonna play hard. They got Buda Baker on the back end, who's been doing it, at an elite level for a long time. So I think it's gonna be a good matchup. I'm excited to go out west and play them.
Welcome back to Inside the Pride. I'm now joined by head coach Dan Campbell. And Wednesday morning this past week, you said you are ready to turn the page on Tampa Bay and look forward to these Arizona Cardinals. How do you know, as head coach, when you're ready to flip the page and flip that switch?
I think, you do a lot of soul searching after a loss. You always do. What can you do better? What do you need to do better? Not certainly yourself, but then as a team, what do we need to do? And so I think once you've done that, you lick your wounds. And you have so much more clarity, and you come out of it. And I would say, I mean, by probably last night, I was ready to go. Wake up today, I'm ready to game plan, and we're good to go.
Good to go for those Arizona Cardinals, and it starts with Kyler Murray there at quarterback. He played pretty lights out in week 2, 81% completion rate, 3 TDs. We're going to see one up here, and it's to the rookie Marvin Harrison Jr. What is that duo forcing defenses to account for right now?
They're doing a good job with how they're playing it. They're really leaning on the run, a lot more under center, and then hard play action, hard boot to where, man, he's got all this space. He can see. He's not a real tall guy. And so when he's able to do that, then it's just about, all right, the play's there, and if it's not there, then here we go, man, just take off. And as you see, here's Harrison, their #1 pick over there, very talented. And this is the last thing you can have. We're not even talking about just normal progression of a play. This is boot breaks out, he breaks contain, and he throws it to his guy. This is where he's dangerous. We can't let him do this stuff.
Another weapon on that offense, and something tells me you like a tight end similar to Trey McBride. He's going to make a big contested catch right here. He's a big body pass catcher. How do you possibly stop a play like this from happening?
Funny enough, they're in really good position here. This is really good. And as a matter of fact, he ends up being doubled here. So the hard thing is, how do you stop it? Well, I mean, the guy's making a heck of a play here. And I would not fault these guys for the coverage they have right now. It's just at some point we got to make a play on this ball. But it shows how dangerous he is. I like this guy a lot. He blocks well. He runs pretty good through the defense. He is crafty. And then he can make a play on the ball up in the air here. And I still go back to this. You know, the best way to stop Harrison, is you got to shut down the run so that all this boot, this action off of this is not good anymore. You don't honor this anymore because you've shut down the run game, and now your coverage is deeper in general.
Looking towards Arizona's defense, Budda Baker in year 8, he's looking for his 5th consecutive Pro Bowl in 2024. When he runs downhill, it looks a little scary. Why do you have to account for him on that defensive side?
Well, just because of this, what you just said. There he goes. I mean, he's all the way, we're talking about, 10 yards deep. Looks like shell coverage, umbrella coverage, and all of a sudden he's the guy who drops from the sky right at the snap. This ball's not even handed yet, and he's in the box at the line of scrimmage. So that's why you got to account for him. And if you don't have your mind right and you're not ready, like this receiver's not ready, because he's got plenty of time to get down there if he's paying attention. And you got to have some mettle about you to go take this on, too, because he is, to your point, he's coming 100 miles an hour.
This Cardinals team doesn't look like the Cardinals team it was last year. It's going to be a great test in week 3. You're all about improvements, Coach, after games. What's the #1 improvement you want to see after week 3?
Yeah, look, it's like I said, from week 1 to week 2, man, there's these things we have to improve on. We got to play a little bit better, a little sharper individually and as a team. And we really did, even though we lost. And we got to do that again, particularly offensively. We get down there, we got to score touchdowns, not field goals. We do just that, and our defense takes it up one more notch, cut out a couple of explosives, and we're going to be fine.
Hutch, 5.5 sacks then?
We'll take that. Or Hutch gets 2, and Levi gets 2, and Reeder gets 1, and Davenport gets 2. Why can't we spread it around a little bit too? But either way, whatever that quota is, we need to reach it.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Former Lions linebacker and head coach who helped bring 2 championships to Detroit passed away last week. Joe Schmidt, the Hall of Famer who played in 10 consecutive Pro Bowls, left a lasting legacy on the Motor City.
He was captain of the Detroit Lions for 9 consecutive years, the NFL All-Pro team 8 times, and he was the Lions' most valuable player 4 times. It's indeed an honor for me to present a great player, a great person, and a great friend, Joe Schmidt. Thank you.
Every box you want to check as a football player, Joe checked it. When Joe Schmidt was drafted here, you would think that a guy who accomplished all he accomplished here in Detroit, you'd think he'd have been treated as royalty coming here in 1953, regardless of what round he was drafted on. Not so.
I didn't think I had a chance to make the team. They were champions. You read about Bobby Lane and Doak Walker and Leon Hart, and we played a preseason game against Pittsburgh Steelers, okay? Buster Ramsey came to me, he says, okay, he says, you're gonna play. He said, you're gonna sink or swim. And he said, you look good today. He says, you might have a chance to make the team. All my life I played middle linebacker, so they put me at middle linebacker that day, so I had an outstanding day. So I finally made the team, which was, I was very excited about it, naturally. And from there, it was a wonderful experience.
Look, he was a 7th-round draft pick, but for a modest beginning, almost an afterthought player, and at that time, Joe Schmidt became what Joe Schmidt was, which, like I said, one of the icons in any sport in the history of Detroit.
Joe Schmidt was the prototype middle linebacker. As far as I know, he was the first. Joe just immediately was a cog on the teams that won championships in the 1950s.
Well, I think they became great with him more than adding him. But when you have a middle linebacker, especially in those days, it was a different game. The Detroit Lions saw the value of having a stud in the middle of your defense who could run, cover, tackle, make plays all over the field. And from then on, he was the middle linebacker.
Quarterback Otto Graham fakes the pass. He's rushed, hit, and fumbles. Detroit's Lester Bigeman dives on the ball on Cleveland's 12-yard line, and the Lions get the first break of the game.
This is just my own standard. I have what I call every era players. Joe was an every era player, and you can look at the statistics too. 10 Pro Bowls, 8 straight times All-Pro. In a 12-game season in 1955, he recovered 8 fumbles. 8. Guys don't get that in a career now. Physically, the mental part of the game, everything. He had it all. He had everything. He was big enough, he was strong enough, he was fast enough, he was smart enough. But Joe, he was not just a great player, but he was a great leader too. People looked to him. He talked it, he walked it, he played it. He really did. Joe Schmidt, when you met him and spent some time with him, he was everything that you thought he would be and more. Just the way he carried himself, just the way he talked to people, smart. Everything he did was just a cut above everybody else.
To express myself today, it's difficult. Thought about this for quite some time. So I'd like to thank the Detroit Lions.
I had an opportunity to play football and come here to Detroit to be on the championship team. People have been awful good to me in this town, and everything in my life that I have to say that because I was a Lion, I have it.
I wish I'd covered him more. I really do as a player. Talk about a guy who helped invent a position in pro football. He also left behind, a legacy here in the city of Detroit. You did it on the field, you did it as a coach, you did it in the community, and you'll be remembered forever because of it.
I've traveled 20 years of pro football to many cities, and I'm very honored and humbled today to take my place in the Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.
Looking for something special? Maybe it's VIP seats, the meal of a lifetime, or an unforgettable journey. Whatever it is, Community Financial Credit Union can make it a reality. Share your impossible dreams at impossibledream.org by scanning the QR code at the bottom of the screen. Before we close out today's show, I've got another Rogers Rewind where I highlight my favorite moments from this past weekend. I'm trying to bring you happiness even after a loss, okay? But speaking of week 2, Aiden Hutchinson was a monster out on the field. Check out the final stats: 4.5 sacks, 5 total tackles, and a forced fumble. Aiden Hutchinson was chasing the franchise record set by William Gay in 1983 with 5.5 sacks. He was so close, but let's check in on how Hutch stacks up against the rest of the NFL so far through 2 weeks. First in sacks, sack yards, QB hits, TFLs, and he is tied for 3rd in forced fumbles. One thing is for sure, Hutch is a force to be reckoned with here in year 3. Detroit Lions celebrated women in football this past Sunday. Shout out to all the ladies who showed up to the game. Sydney, I'm glad you gave that Lion a run for his money and grabbed his claw. You go, girl. And last but not least, a big shout out to Matthew for bringing his daughters by the pregame set so me and Anthony Bellino could say hi and share some waves. Glad we could make your days. And a big thank you for the reminder. Tune in to the postgame show. After every single game, Lomas Brown and I have got you covered. That wraps up this edition of Inside the Pride. Detroit Lions hit the road and head out west to take on Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. Kickoff is slated for 4:25 Eastern on Fox. We'll see you right back here next week.